Hello and welcome to today's Blissful Cooking Club with me, Leanne Brown. And today we're going to be making summer rolls. And as you can see, I'm using soba noodles. I think traditionally we just would use rice noodles, but this is what I had around. And then off screen here we have some lettuce, I have some mint, some scallions, carrots and cucumber, and the wonderful wrappers themselves. And I also have some peanut butter and hot sauce, which will make it into a dipping sauce. And there could be radishes, there could be shrimp, there could be, anything you like. You could be like me and be putting peaches into these because you put peaches into everything right now. These are really a starting point of kind of putting some things together in a nice little wrapper and enjoying them. So that's what we're doing today. I think it's going to be pretty playful. We'll see. And before we begin, let's do our deep breathing. So let's stand really tall, feet on the ground. Or if you're seated, sits bones, feel them, feel that sort of pleasant heaviness. And let's actually do an inhale retention. So this is something that we would do. I don't even know if I want to explain it. I want you to experience it. But when we inhale all the way to the peak, and now we're going to retain. And let's tuck the chin for a count of 5. 3, 4, 5. And bring the chin up and exhale. Let's inhale slowly again. Peak, tuck chin, and retain. And exhale. Let's do one more, really focusing on finding that retention that feels like we are getting to our limit, but we're never going past it to a point where we start to begin to feel frightened, like, oh, we need to gasp for a breath. We want to come to our limit where we're flooding ourselves with oxygen, where we're expanding our lung capacity, our ability to hold abundance. Let's inhale one more time. Tuck the chin. And release. For me, I noticed during the retention, there's these sensations of hot and cold that I can feel sort of flowing through my body. It's like a tiny bit uncomfortable. And I think for me, there's so many reasons why doing retentions are so healthy for the body. Like I said, they sort of build on a very sort of gross level, they build our lung capacity. But I think at a more spiritual, energetic, emotional level, what they do is teach us that to be really full is safe. So if we can hold that and feel safe in that just so full up of air that it's almost uncomfortable. If we can train our bodies to feel that it is good to feel abundant, that we don't have to go, oh, and let go, like it doesn't feel okay. This is a sort of practice of, being able to feel good and full and abundant, not afraid of sort of having too much and that you need to hold on or for a lot of us that experience anxiety, and I really include myself in this, I know for a long time when I first started practicing yoga and breath work, I found the inhale quite hard to hold in much. And then the exhale was like, oh, okay, a relief. Like getting rid of stuff felt good. And that is because often we're holding so much stress, all kinds of sort of stuff within us. And so whenever we're full, it can feel like we're also holding all of that stuff. And so the exhale feels like a relief and the inhale feels sort of overstimulating. And over time, as we begin to release what isn't ours to hold, and we are just breathing in and out ourselves, what is ours, our own energy, what we want to do, have our focus, it begins to feel more comfortable, the inhale and the exhale. And the inhale can really be this beautiful place of taking in all the goodness and just bathing in that, and then exhaling and knowing that we're going to be able to fill ourselves up again. Okay, so that was a lot for today. Let's get started on the actual recipe. I hope that was helpful for you. I think I needed to hear that. I'm working with personally around a sense of lack in my life right now. I'm working really hard on kind of reprogramming, reframing myself. And so I thought I would share that with you in the hopes that it is resonant in any way. So we're going to start with tofu. A lot of recipes do shrimp or something else, or you can keep it all veggie, or you can not bother with the tofu. But I just love making tofu this way. I think I've actually made it for you before in one of these, something similar. But I thought I would do it again just to show you how easy it is. So this is a thing of super firm tofu. Oh, I'm also going to have water that needs to boil here for our noodles. So I'm just going to get that started, put that on high heat. Oh, pardon me. I have had the most stubborn cough for weeks now. So what I'm going to do here is slice this. I'm going to start, this looks like it could be 8 slices. So I'm cutting it in half. Half again, and each of these, 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Tofu. Something like that, right? Okay. And then I think I'm going to slice it into long pieces like that, because then I can kind of place them in the rolls really nicely. So 1, let's do 6 across. 3, oh, turns out it's 5. 5 across. That's what happened. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fantastic. And now I am going to get this pan over here on medium heat. I'm going to add some oil to the pan. Not a huge amount. Maybe a tablespoon, but enough to kind of coat things. I might add a little bit more. I'm using olive oil. That's what I have. And I am going to just pour a little bit of this soy sauce directly on top. I could also marinate it for a moment here, but I think I'm just going to put it straight in and pour this on top. I'm not even marinating it, and you'll find that it still really penetrates the tofu and is so yummy. So I think I'm probably only going to be able to do half of these at a time. I'm going to layer them in the pan. I'm just going to show you what this looks like over here rather than bringing the whole setup over there, because we're going to be going back and forth a fair bit. But I'll just show you. This is what I'm doing. And we probably could fit more into the pan, but I don't really feel like crowding it and dealing with all that. So now I'm just going to pour a small amount. And you'll notice, like, this is going to Probably spit a fair bit. Meaning we'll have oil flying around a little bit. I think it's okay. So here we go. I am going to place this on top to manage the oil spray a little bit. And so we'll do half of this. I'll do the other half later. And I'll just probably put that in the fridge to eat whenever I like. I like to have these in salads. I mean, just the delicious marinated fried tofu in soy sauce or tamari is my preference personally. It's so amazing to have around. So I'm going to just set that off to the side. Pardon me. And now I'm going to slice some stuff up. I'm going to start with the cucumber because I cannot seem to see my little peeler. So cucumbers, and again, because we're sort of doing things in length, I think I will slice this in half and then cut it into longer strips. Cut the cucumber into longer strips. Yeah, that feels good. So it's all the way along there, but it's still kind of looking a bit big to me. So I'm going to slice through here too. So ultimately we have all of these little pieces. So this time I'm going to slice it in half first. Woo. And then slice along there. Awesome. So much about this particular recipe is just preparation. And so this can be something that you could do ahead of time. Summer rolls could kind of become like a staple. Honestly, I think they're a really great staple in the summer months. Something to kind of always, it's like all the things that we like to eat that are refreshing and healthy and good for us in this fun little package. And if we just have these types of ingredients prepped, some kind of protein, some kind of noodle, some veggies that we really quickly chop up and just have them in a roll, it's like, bam, suddenly you have this nice little meal. And I think it's pretty pleasant. And it can become kind of, when it's something regular, it can become a nice, safe place to experiment. All right, I hear things happening, bubbling, sizzling. Wonderful. I'm going to just move these around, and I'm going to take this off so it can still get crispy. But here, let me show you. Again, I'm sorry not to bring, but so this is what's happening. As you can see, the brown is sort of going everywhere. It's just what happens when we cook it like this. That's why I find we can skip that marination process a lot of the time. Yeah. Well, I really cannot find my peeler. Here it is. In totally the wrong drawer for some reason, but what can I say? You don't have to peel your carrots, but I find with these larger ones, there's a kind of dryness on the outside that isn't so appealing. If you have super fresh carrots, just wash them and you're good. And again, you can do it kind of like exactly the way that I did with cucumber. Maybe a little bit smaller strips actually, just because the carrot is a little tougher. And so it's nice to have that really small pieces. Whew. Nice and thin. I could definitely make these thinner. Yeah, that one's way too big. Oopsie. I think that's good. Could definitely go smaller. Like, all of it depends on sort of your capacity, your interest in making this stuff really fine. Kind of making it pretty. If that's a fun experience for you, slicing things up like this, or if you're just like, let's just get this done. Either vibe, or maybe there's a third vibe that I hadn't thought about that you could share, is good. And I wholeheartedly recommend. Okay, let's check on our tofu again. Oh yeah, looking nice. Just gonna flip some of these guys over. They're beginning to kind of caramelize, get dark and a little bit crispy on the bottom. So I'm flipping them, just moving them around. Beautiful, delicious. Wow, looking really yummy. I'm just super excited about that actually. Okay, and we have boiling water over here for our soba noodles. This is going to also be slightly more than I need. And just enjoy the beautiful sound of that sizzling. So here's my sobas. And into this water they go. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I'm a little disorganized today. Sorry to the viewer, but also you don't have to be organized in your home kitchen. It's okay. Of course you know this. Tofu is looking so good. Once I have them flipped one more time, I'm just going to bring them over to show you. And look how dark that's becoming. Pretty amazing, right? Shouldn't be too much longer there. Oh, and I didn't mention this, but I have this pan I just filled with lukewarm room temperature water. And we're going to use that when we start assembling the summer rolls. I'm going to get those heated here. And then we have mint over here and scallions too. I think how I should prepare these. So, whoop. Oh, and then we have lettuce. This really nice lettuce. Beautiful pieces like this. So I'm just going to grab a few to place here. Woo. The tone of the sizzling just keeps changing and drawing me over here. I think we're done. We'll turn off the heat before we overdo it. But I think it's okay to leave them in here for a moment or two just to cool on the residual heat. My instinct says that's fine. Also, I've made them so many times, it's not even really instinct at this point. Truly one of my favorite proteins, just tofu with some tamari. So darn delicious, so crispy, soft, satisfying, salty. And if you're trying to eat less meat or you are already a fully plant-based human, it's just nice to have these really simple ways of preparing tofu. Okay. So I'm just gonna kind of chop them. Let's slice them in half. And then the pieces like that. Like that, up higher. That's not nice. Okay, get rid of these icky bits. That's also not a good piece. And that one. Okay. Good stuff. Scallions. Glorious! I'm so into these. These guys. I'm gonna place them here in my zone. This out of the way. They're pretty hot right now. So it would be best to let them completely cool. We're just waiting on the noodles. We do generally want the ingredients that go in our summer rolls to be like room temperature to cold, because I don't want to melt our wrapper. Let me just check on these noodles. They're feeling pretty good. Great. I'm going to place my little colander in the sink. And now I'm going to pour the noodles into the colander. And rinse them in cold water because I really do want them to cool down a little bit so that I can put them in the All right. Something soothing about playing with these noodles, actually. It's like, I've been feeling pretty anxious, as you could probably tell, actually. And so, I'm just really appreciating this opportunity to kind of like have everything in a row. Like, there's something so, it's like, okay, we're organized here. We're good. We're gonna have multiple meals. Something about that that's deeply grounding for me. I know when I feel scared about the future and like I don't know what I'm doing and I don't have enough, that feeling that I'm wrestling with right now, that it really helps me so much to just get some food and sort of do one thing and show myself that I can nourish myself, that I care about myself and I can receive my own care. Oh, how do I open this? Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. The first one is always going to be a bit of an experiment because I haven't done this in a while. So this is what they look like. Lovely little see-through guys. And we're just going to wet it so that it becomes really pliable and easy to work with. And a lot of the time the instructions actually suggest using warm or even hot water, but I always find that that makes it so like sticky and hard to work with. It's just too much. So there's a lot of ways to think about this. We want it to be super beautiful on the outside. We could place like a mint leaf or two facing down. 1, 2, 3 mint leaves. And I do have some basil somewhere, but actually outside that I could get, but I didn't get it. So we're just using mint for now. And then I'm going to do one of these beautiful pieces of lettuce. Some noodles. Is that enough? Let's do a couple more. It's going to be an experiment. See, the first one, how much am I going to fit in here? 2 of these tofus, scallion, and cucumber. Okay. Now I'm going to wait. Yeah, it's like a burrito, I think. So we're going to wrap it like this. And then see how what I was talking about, it's like sticky, which is great because like you want it to be. But I'm going to try. Okay, and now here we go, little guy. Oh, okay, I need to do this side first too. Okay. Haven't done this in a while. We're learning together. Beautiful. And by beautiful, I mean needs improvement for sure. But that's a summer roll that exists. As you can see, I didn't do the tightest job. We'll get it right the second time. Or we got it a different kind of wrong. I don't know, whatever. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. So that's, yeah, this is it. And, you know, I totally could have like practiced this ahead of time to show you. And part of me sometimes feels like that's what I should be doing because I'm an expert. But there are so many YouTube videos you could look up to learn how to do this if you want to see that. What I want to model to you is sort of a normal home cooking process, which is like, I kind of know how to do this, I think. And just make your own way through it. And learn as you go. There's nothing wrong with that. I've made these before many, many times, but every time I kind of have to remember how the thing works. And I kind of enjoy that process rather than sort of learning, reminding myself of the correct way to do it, making sure I do it just that way. I kind of like figuring it out as I go. And that's my style. And I like that about myself. And I want to just offer that to you, that that's a great kind of style to have. And if your style is much more like, no, I just want to know exactly how to do it, have the whole process, that is also a really great style. Like both truly, sincerely are good. And so now I learned from last time, I'm going to want to fold up the bottom, fold up the top, and then I'm going to grab the side, flip it over like this, and then roll over as tightly as I can. Yeah, and then it sticks to itself. Yeah, that one was more successful. There we go. It's not like looking so insanely gorge, but pretty nice. Yummy. I'm happy. We're going to do another one. Ooh, and look, we have a little tear in this one, but that's okay. As you could see, it all just mushes. What did we say? We're still doing, I'm liking this mint on the bottom thing. And then a lettuce leaf. There's no, I think, definitely needs to be this order kind of thing going on here, but a little noodle base, some carrots, some cucumbers, some scallions. And so, because it's just me today, I am probably not going to actually use all of these because I just wouldn't be able to eat it all. But everything here works as a, like I have these leftover noodles, I can make myself a cold noodle salad with all this same stuff tonight or tomorrow. This is another thing that's great about this process is kind of you can have multiple kinds of dishes. Or say you have leftover cold noodles either from making them or from like buying them at or like as takeout or something, you can use that to make summer rolls if you want. Oh gosh, it's so sticky. I might have slightly overfilled this one. Oh no, it's good. It's good. There we go. And as you can see, like the fun thing about these is like they just do stick to themselves. So it always works out, even if it's a little funky, like it's still good. Last one, and then we'll make the dipping sauce and I'll let you all go on your merry way to have the beautiful day you were meant to have. Feeling full, feeling energized, feeling vital, I hope. Or at least feeling a little more grounded, You know, for me, that's probably more what I'm looking for, if I'm being honest. It'd be wonderful to feel super vital. Whew. But just to feel okay, capable, well, that's good. 2 pieces of tofu, cukes, carrots, scallions, yum. We fold it at the top, and we fold it at the bottom. And then, get back on there, little guy. And then, we squeeze it. I'm pulling all this in. Roll it over. And it is very elastic. So as I'm pulling, we've got some give. As I just said that, of course, it's got a hole in it now. So this one burst open a little bit. Oh, well, this is hilariously the fourth one, probably the most messy of them all. That's okay. This is how they work. So we have 4 imperfect yet wonderful summer rolls here that I would be perfectly happy to serve to anyone. And now I'm going to just whip together, probably not, a very simple peanut sauce. And you can do this with, I'm doing it a peanut sauce, so using peanut butter and hot sauce. This is the absolute simplest version. But if you're not a big peanut person, you can absolutely use tahini, which is sesame butter, sesame paste, and that's really fabulous as well. So here we go. We have some, absolutely beautifully textured, fresh jar of peanut butter here. That's nice. I'm not going to make too much for myself today just because, again, it's just me. So I've got about, what is that, a tablespoon? Let's do a little more. Probably 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. Now my mouth is coated in peanut butter. And then I'm going to just eyeball. This is sambal oleg chili sauce that has garlic and all kinds of flavor in it. So it's kind of like a little hack. Like we're adding so much more than just chili sauce to it. We've got onion and garlic and all kinds of flavor. And so flavor-wise, I suspect this is pretty good. But as you can see, it's really thick. That's not something you can dip into. So I'm going to add just a tiny bit of water. And mix. At first it's like, is that going to mix? It totally does. Water. Feels like, oh, you're watering it down. That's not good. No. We want it to be just a nice consistency. Okay, we're going to need a little more than that still. And you can add a little splash of tamari or soy sauce to this as well, that I'd really recommend, depending on what peanut butter and what chili sauce you're using, to just like taste it first. Because there's a lot of salt in sambal oleg, and if you get salted peanut butter, there's going to already be salt in it. So just consider that. But see, now we have a beautiful consistency, right? The addition of water is so nice. And to me, that's wonderful. Just a simple, peanutty, spicy flavor. I love it. If you want it to be a little sweet, you could add just a little drizzle of honey or maple syrup or even just sugar. Or if you have sweetened peanut butter, this one is just salt and peanuts, so it doesn't have that added sugar in it. But if you do have that, sometimes that can actually be really nice. I'm going to eat this most rough looking one. Let's give it a dip. Woohoo! As you can see, it's coating everything. Yum. Lots of fun. You can taste all the herbs. And scallions and mint. It's all just crunchy and lovely. I've got spiciness. I'm happy. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you are feeling abundant now, or something along the way, at least a little bit more regulated than before. As always, please share this. Please like this. Press the little heart button. That just helps me know that I'm doing well. Let me know of any requests you have or anything you'd like for me to talk about. I'm always open to that. In fact, I find it very inspiring. So thank you so much, and talk to you next time. Bye-bye.